We are back with Hannah BRENCHER talking about the depression and anxiety she battled as she moved to a new city. We kind of covered, how this happened and some of the ways that friends helped you. You had another friend, she challenged you to start writing letters to all the people who helped you along the way. How did that make a difference?
Yeah, my own background, I'd been accustomed to writing letters to people I didn't really know. And so she challenged me to go back and to write to people that had been there for me during this. And I think depression being sometimes really self-obsessing, you want to talk a lot about what you're experiencing and what you're going through. It really helped shift my perspective to be like, wow, there are so many people that have stayed and who have shown up for me. And it's important to thank those people, Even when you're in the pit, you have to pull yourself out of yourself and focus on other people. Because even when you're going through something really tough and you don't really have the capacity to show up for somebody else, there's still a great possibility that they're walking through something just as hard, as not harder. And so I always challenge myself, even when I am sad, to look for the others, to thank them, and to remind them it matters that you're here. We need you too.
That's so good. And when you think about faith is something that can help in depression, but one of the problems is that you don't have a sense of God. He feels so far away. Tell me about the challenge of connecting with God even when you don't feel him.
That was what I wrestled with for a really long time, especially knowing joy is one of the fruits of the Spirit. And so I thought, if I just spend enough time in this, I'm going to get joy. And the joy never came. And so I had to realize that it was a combination of a lot of things. And it was also showing up and reading the Bible and studying and making this my everything, even when I didn't feel it. I think in this time I learned that faith is so much more than a feeling. It is a daily, everyday thing. And most of the things in our lives, the feelings fade, and we have to choose to be committed anyway. And so I think that's what really made my faith durable, is to say, I'm going to show up to this even on the days where I don't feel anything.
So I think in depression and anxiety, it sounds like there's a good side and a bad side to faith. There's the bad side where people are like, hey, just trust in God, just, joy of the Lord, get the joy of the Lord, which is not helpful. But the helpful things are the discipline things. Is that what you're saying? Just being faithful yourself.
The cultivation of discipline. I realize that is really how I keep myself healthy. Being somebody who now understands that if you have depression once or twice, there is the possibility that this will be a lifetime battle. But the one thing that has helped me be the healthiest is discipline. Discipline in all areas, in faith, in eating, in working out. Being committed to things is what causes me to have those stakes in the ground and say, I can fight through this, and I can help other people fight through this as well.
And I think too, part of all of that, depression, anxiety too, is beyond the chemical and the medication. That part that you need to manage is just lies that you believe about yourself, about God, about life. How does faith help you, or the Bible, or however you're getting that information? How do you confront those lies?
Well, I learned that you can use the Bible as a tool to fight those lies. I mean, it's a powerful weapon in that sense, because really the lies are coming at you, and either you're going to believe in them, or you're going to say, okay, I don't know that this is true or not, but I'm going to dig deeper to figure out what is truth. And so I often am somebody who will write down all the lies that I'm believing at one time, and then I will go into the scripture and I will look for the actual truth.
Oh,
and
that's so good.
There's something just powerful about being able to cross out the lie and replace it with truth. But that, again, is an everyday type of thing. It is an over and over again until it sinks into me and becomes a part of me practice.
I think, that's a great practice for anybody, because we all deal with those lies, and part of becoming healthy is overcoming the lies that keep us in bondage and bringing truth into our lives. So I think it's a good practice. But I'm just thinking about someone watching now, and it's so like us to dismiss Hannah. Well, that's you, Hannah. You're obviously amazing and disciplined and everything else, but that's not me. But for someone watching who's kind of in the thick of it right now, dealing with overwhelming anxiety, daily depression, what advice would you be able to give them?
I would say, don't be afraid to reach out to people and say, hey, I'm not okay. It is 100% okay to admit that you're not okay. It's 100% okay to go and talk to somebody who is a professional and talk about next steps. I know that for a while that was something that I was scared to do, and I'm so thankful that I actually reached out now, because it's made the biggest difference in my life to walk with a therapist and to discuss medication and go that route. Realizing that it's not any strike against you, God isn't looking at you any differently because you're battling this, And the other thing that I would say is, like, even though it feels really dark and scary now, I can look back at my bouts of depression and know that that's when God really opened up the door for me to be able to reach out to other people and be able to say, like, me too, I've been through that before, and I know you're going to come out of that. And so oftentimes, like, kind of our mud pit becomes our ministry. And so be heartened, because this isn't where the story is going to end.
Oh, I love that. It isn't where it ends. Hannah Brencher, thank you so much. The book is Come Matter Here. Such great writing and great advice for life. Thanks so much. If you just need to reach out to someone today, say, you know what, Hannah, I'm going to listen to you. I am going to reach out. One step that you could take right now is to get someone to pray with you. We would love to be that partner with you. You don't even have to give your name. But if you just need a kind, sympathetic listening ear, we have the most wonderful people on the other end of those phone lines. That number is 1-866-273-4444. We'll be right back.